Now I have a real pleasure and honor to introduce Honorable Kapil Sibal, Minister of Communications and Information Technology and Minister of Human Resource Development. Let's welcome him on stage.
His Excellency, Minister of Economic Affairs, Yuri Hakamis, Her Excellency, the Ambassador, Ms. Terry Hakala, distinguished delegates present in this symposium, ladies and gentlemen. In a sense, over the years, civilization has innovated as it has moved forward. The nature of innovation, of course, has changed over the years because the nature of the economies and the pace at which they developed have changed over the years. But the 21st century gives us a unique opportunity to innovate like never before. And in this sense, I really appreciate and welcome FinNode's new ally and partner, India, at its 5th annual symposium. The ambassador mentioned during her address that Finland is a small country, but I have to say that it may be a small country, but it has a big heart. And I've had the privilege of just returning from Finland just a couple of days ago. And I thank the Finnish government for the warm hospitality that they extended to me. In the course of my stay, I had a very fruitful interaction with your minister and with other stakeholders in the Finnish economy, and realized the importance of this partnership and the opportunities for both of us to actually work together for a win-win situation for each of us. Finland is a small population of 5.4 million people. And in the context of the global economy, it is necessary to Finland not just to innovate, but to compete not just with the rest of Europe, but to extend its markets throughout the world. India presents an ideal opportunity for a market that is available not just for Finnish products or European products, but for innovation. Whereas you in Finland realize that in a competitive market like Europe, the margins of profit are extremely low in a very competitive environment. On the other hand, the possibilities and opportunities that a market like India provides you with 1.2 billion people is something that can be exploited not just for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of India. In an interconnected world, territorial boundaries have no meaning. In the context of the 21st century and the technologies available with us, we can break the barriers of these boundaries and interact with each other online, contemporaneously, and collaborate with each other for new solutions. His Excellency, the Minister mentioned about clean technology, about education and healthcare as some of the areas in which we can actually provide solutions for our peoples. But I have to say that when the world moves forward and countries collaborate, the nature of the economic model, the bilateral economic model, must change. Some time ago, I was in Norway, and the distinguished minister from Norway who was interacting with me, as you know, Norway has a very strong maritime industry, he said, I need a lot of human resource for my maritime industry, so why don't some of your kids from India come to Norway. And I looked at him rather quizzically and said, why would they go to Norway? The Indian student, his first priority, if he has a chance, would go to the United States of America. And if he fails there, he will try and go to United Kingdom. If he doesn't get admission there, his third priority used to be Australia, perhaps not anymore. And if he fails there, it might be, well, Singapore. And if not that, Malaysia. Norway is too cold for him to go. It's not part of his radar. And I said, even if he were to come to Norway, how many of Indian kids will come to Norway? 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000? I said, we have about 200 million children who go to school. And about 15 million children who actually reach graduation. This number in the next 10 years will increase from 15 million to 45 million, which is, I would imagine, about 3 times the total population of the Scandinavian countries. Will be the number of children who will actually graduate. So it's not a good economic model for you to persuade our children to come to Norway. The better model is for you to come to India. Because your per dollar investment would get a much higher return. And it's a win-win for both. If you set up a marine institute in India, you would be able to get as many students you want. And of the ones that you think will be able to come to Norway, you can persuade them to come to Norway, and they'll be willingly do so, having interacted with you and developed a level of comfort. And for those you leave behind, it's great for us. So you are able to educate many more, you can get the ones you want, and you can leave some behind for us. And the number of children you'll educate are many more. So it's not a good economic model for our kids to come to Norway. And he said, sir, I really never thought of that. The point that I'm trying to make is that it's time for us to innovate even in the way we think, not just the way we implement our thoughts. We need to develop new models of collaboration and development as we move along. You can't imagine the number of solutions that we require just in the education sector. With the number of languages that are spoken by children who have different mother tongues in different parts of the country, to be able to provide them information in their own language is a task in itself, and online. The nature of teaching has changed. Teaching is no longer teacher-centric. The teacher in the classroom is no longer the sole repository of knowledge. The classroom of the 21st century is entirely different from the classroom of the 20th or the 19th. The ways we teach are different. But what we need to provide our children is something which the ambassador talked about. We need to provide them with solutions which are affordable and accessible. It's not the off-the-shelf technologies that are available in the West that will be embraced by our children. It cannot be. It's just not possible. And the way to innovate then is to be here and to find out what the requirements of the ecosystem are. And then with the high quality human resource base that's available in India and a low cost economy, the solutions that you will come up with will be much more affordable, accessible, and of high quality. And if you develop that product in India, it will not only serve the market in India, it will serve the global market. I say that in the area of healthcare and in the area of clean technologies as well. Healthcare solutions in India are far different from solutions in your part of the world. Indeed, they have to be. The requirements of old people living in the fjords or the northern territories in the Lapland are different from the requirements that are needed in some of our inhabitants in the terrorist-affected areas or far-flung northeastern areas or in the Himalayas. The nature of the solution will be different. And that nature of the solution, that solution has to be engrafted in the context of India. And it has to happen in India. So you have a great opportunity through FinNode to be able to partner in India in diverse fields so that the innovative solutions that we bring about are unique, accessible and affordable, and provide Finnish business with a market, not just in India, but the rest of the world. I believe sincerely that that is the way to move forward. I do believe that we have the necessary human resource infrastructure to take that forward. Of course, we will require a lot of investments in the infrastructure sector in which Finnish entrepreneurs are already there. Because the infrastructure requirement of India in the next few years is something in the tune of $450 billion. I was very happy to learn when I read a couple of days ago that my finance minister, who was in the United States of America, mentioned that despite what is happening to the global economy, India is going to grow at about 8%. And I dare say that this will continue. Our growth pattern will continue. We do have the necessary resources to finance innovations, to start up companies, for pilot projects, and of course, for commercialization of projects. We have enough entrepreneurs in India, and this is really why we have an 8% growth, because the domestic demand is so huge that no matter what happens in the rest of the world, of course, we'll be affected. Otherwise, we would have had double-digit growth. But because we have a huge domestic demand, our growth will be generated through that demand. We have very high-quality academics, heads of institutions, Ministry of Science and Technology, and some of them are sitting here, who have extraordinary vision and passion for innovation and taking the country forward. This is a great opportunity for both of us. And of course, India is a country that welcomes not just the Finns, but people around the world. We have over civilizations absorbed the best that every culture has given to us. We have absorbed it, relished it, and together moved forward with it. That will happen with FinNode too. I'm sure of that. Best of luck to all of you in this seminar.